Chapter 111. He spends money for fun, but I really spend money. Old Xiao, take these 100 soul balls. No matter who you fight with in the future, just use your ultimate move. Don't worry about wasting soul power. I have a lot of this stuff. I'll get you more when you run out of it. After Yi Feng took out 100 basketball-sized soul balls from the system space, he said to Xiao Chen in an extremely arrogant way. When have I ever fought such a rich battle in my life? After storing all 100 soul balls into the space ring, Xiao Chen wished he could meet an enemy right away and have a good fight. These 200 years really made him die. Ding! Congratulations to the host for triggering the wasteful behavior. Reward 300 wasteful points. Reward soul purifying water *100. Soul purifying water can purify the impurities in the soul. When purified to the extreme, the soul has a chance to change in a positive direction. Why is the wasteful behavior of giving Xiao Chen 1 million low-grade spirit crystals only rewarded now? Didn't he want to take it before? This soul-purifying water seems to be prepared for Xiao Chen. After checking the situation of the reward, Yi Feng also looked directly at Xiao Chen and asked, Xiao Lao, there is something that can purify the soul, what will happen if your soul is purified to the extreme? The treasure that purifies the impurities in the soul. Even if I have been in the battlefield of the heavenly Tao for countless years, I have only heard of it. But if my soul is purified to the extreme, with my current strength, I will definitely ascend to the upper realm on the spot. Even the King of Heaven can't stop it, let alone I can't suppress it. Although I don't know why Yi Feng asked this question, Xiao Chen still patiently explained. Ascend on the spot? Hearing this, Yi Feng had already made up his mind that he would never give these 100 drops of soul-purifying water to Xiao Chen. After all, he was planning to let everyone in the sect ascend together in the future, so how could he let Xiao Chen ascend first? A few minutes later, when Yi Feng took out a middle-grade spirit stone from Xiao Chen's space ring, which belonged to the Secret Realm sect competition, he threw it aside casually. Xiao Chen was confused by this operation. How could Xiao Chen know that as long as someone picked up this middle-grade spirit stone, he would be the first in the Secret Realm sect competition? After all the other cultivation resources were in his space ring. This would make all the people from other sects, including Yi Feng, the second, and it would be considered to have completed the system task. When Xiao Chen opened a hole in the secret realm with his powerful soul power, the two of them left the secret realm space directly. It's only early morning now? After coming to the outside world, Yi Feng found that the sky was slightly bright, and soon he noticed the breath of the blood-sucking mantis. Yi Feng, which direction is your sect? We can go. At this time, Xiao Chen took out a 2-meter-long 9th-grade gourd flying spirit tool and asked Yi Feng. Old Xiao, wait a moment. Feeling that the blood-sucking mantis was rushing towards him quickly, Yi Feng also asked Xiao Chen to wait for a moment. Be careful. 3 minutes later, when Xiao Chen felt the breath of a great demon approaching rapidly, his expression changed slightly and he stood directly in front of Yi Feng. Who dares to hurt my master? Soon, with a roar, the blood-sucking mantis holding the heaven-level furnace also appeared in the sight of the two. What a great demon! Today I will let you feel my strength. Xiao Chen took out 2 soul balls and prepared to replenish his soul power at any time. Even if he could kill the demon in seconds, he just wanted to enjoy the feeling of being rich. Stop. 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 We are all family members. Seeing the man and the demon about to fight, Yi Feng also shouted hurriedly. Family members? Hearing this, Xiao Chen looked at Yi Feng with surprise in his eyes. A demon who had withstood 2 heavenly thunder tribulations was a family member? Old Xiao, this is my battle pet, and it can also be said to be the guardian demon of our sect. Yi Feng looked at Xiao Chen and explained with a smile. Guardian demon? A newly established small sect, a small sect whose master is only at the peak of the 9th level of the Yuanshan realm. You tell me that there is a guardian demon who has withstood 2 heavenly thunder tribulations, and is at the peak of the 9th level of the crossing tribulation realm? Hearing this, Xiao Chen's mind was buzzing. Is this a small sect? Wait, that's... At this moment, Xiao Chen finally noticed the heavenly furnace in the hands of the blood-sucking mantis. It turned out to be Elder Xiao, misunderstanding, all misunderstanding. After learning from Yi Feng that the old man in front of him who made him feel terrified was actually a new elder in the sect, the blood-sucking mantis hurriedly explained, and was ready to get along with this elder in advance to avoid being bullied by the other elders in the sect in the future. You, the furnace in your hand? Xiao Chen stared at the heavenly furnace and asked the blood-sucking mantis directly. This is a heavenly furnace, and every elder in our sect has one. Elder Xiao, you don't know how convenient this thing is to use. It's so cool to hit a kid with one hit. Bloodthirsty Mantis recalled the battle a few days ago, and wished he could fight again with this heavenly furnace. One for everyone? Convenient to use, hit a kid with one hit? This is a heavenly furnace, is it used for fighting? Are all the people in your sect losers? Hearing Bloodthirsty Mantis' words, Xiao Chen was so angry that he almost couldn't breathe. He thought of himself having one in his hand. He didn't know how many top alchemists cried and shouted that they were willing to pay any price to exchange for it, but he never exchanged it. How come after being sealed for 200 years, this heavenly furnace has become so cheap that it can be used in battle? What's wrong with this blood-sucking mantis? Why is it so enthusiastic about Xiao Chen? Seeing the blood-sucking mantis pulling Xiao Chen aside to talk about some of the sex situations, Yi Feng was also stunned. How could he know that the blood-sucking mantis was afraid of being bullied by the other elders of the sect, and was trying to win over allies in advance? Heaven-level furnace tripods are not rampant in Tianhen continent. There are no more than 5 heaven-level furnace tripods in the entire Tianhen continent, but our sect has 10. You use the heaven-level furnace tripod as a weapon, some people use it as a water tank, and a dog uses it as a doghouse? Yi Feng actually used a heaven-level furnace tripod as a toilet container? Are you still human? Is this something a human can do? Just hearing this, Xiao Chen went crazy. Is this a small sect? This is simply a concentration camp for prodigals. Elder Xiao, it seems that you don't know much about the master. But you will know after a long time of contact. The master is a pure prodigal. These are nothing. Seeing the shocked Xiao Chen, the blood-sucking mantis also smiled and comforted him. Crying. Xiao Chen wanted to cry to death at this time. Thinking back to the 2 games in the demon cave, he realized that other people's prodigals have the capital to prodigals, that's called playing, and he is a real prodigal, like a fool who is penniless. Chapter 112 I can't stay in this sect anymore, I have to run away. This elder Xiao has a bad psychological endurance. If he returns to the sect and sees the number 1 sword dog on the continent, I don't know if he can withstand it. Seeing Xiao Chen, who collapsed just by knowing this, the blood-sucking mantis also worried about him. Let's stop talking for now. Bloodthirsty mantis, you can let the eldest brother and the others enter the secret space and go through the formalities. There are no cultivation resources in it. Elder Xiao and I will go back first, and you should return to the sect as soon as possible. Hearing Yi Feng's order, Bloodthirsty Mantis also left first and flew directly to the outer station of Tianyang sect. Elder Xiao, let's go. Yi Feng rode directly on the gourd flying spirit tool and called out to Xiao Chen. Let's go? I don't dare to go to your sect now. It's too scary. I just want to find a small sect to live in until I die. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Xiao Chen struggled again. No matter if it's a dragon's pond or a tiger's den, let's go. In the end, Xiao Chen still couldn't give up the 100 basketball-sized soul balls. He sat in front of the gourd flying spirit tool, activated the spirit stone in the spirit tool, and rushed towards the Xinghuan sect at the fastest speed. There are 1 million low-grade spirit crystals in the space ring. Even if he fully activates the 9th grade flying spirit tool, Xiaochen feels that it's really good to have money at this moment. It's almost noon. At the maximum speed of the 9th grade flying spirit tool, the two returned to Xinghuan sect in just one morning. This is the yellow spring sword intent of the sword heart realm. Yi Feng, is there such a monster sword cultivator in our sect? As soon as he entered the sect, Xiaochen sensed an extremely powerful sword intent rising to the sky, which made him feel that this sect was too fucking perverted. Why is Guzi not sleeping well and releasing the yellow spring sword intent? Hearing Xiaochen's words, Yi Feng showed a puzzled look. After a moment, when Yi Feng and Xiaochen came to the inner martial arts training ground, they saw a little yellow dog holding a black long sword in its mouth and trying to attack the heavenly furnace. Although it looked silly, if you look closely, you can still find that the little yellow dog's attack has a hint of kendo martial arts. The yellow spring sword intent of the sword heart realm was released by a demon dog. A demon dog is still trying to learn kendo martial arts. Seeing this scene, Xiaochen felt his scalp tingling, as if he had been sealed for 200 years. The world outside has completely changed, and it has become so unfamiliar to him. Yi Feng, you are finally back. This little yellow dog ate 100,000 marrow cleansing pills in the past 2 days, and now has a pure spiritual body. In addition, you fed it so many enlightenment pills. Although it didn't have any enlightenment, its spiritual intelligence has been greatly improved. Thinking that it has the yellow spring sword intention of the sword heart realm, the sect leader asked me to teach it some basic sword martial arts first. By Tianhen, who was standing aside, saw Yi Feng and hurried over, and almost shed tears of excitement in his eyes. Who can understand the bitterness of him guiding a dog to practice basic sword martial arts? Now that Yi Feng is back, he feels that he can finally be free. Elder Bai, you have worked so hard. Then the important task of guiding the dog will be handed over to you in the future. Seeing that the little yellow dog now has a hint of the first sword dog on the continent, Yi Feng is also extremely relieved. He feels that the time of pampering the dog can end early. Leave it to me, you are so good to the dog, can you bear to let it work so hard? Bai Tianheng was stunned when he heard Yi Feng's words. Xiaochen, who was standing beside him, was also stunned. The strength of the sect master is only at the peak of the 9th level of the Yuanshan realm, but the sect elders are at the 3rd level of the crossing tribulation realm. Do you call this a small sect? Xiaochen, who felt more and more that something was wrong, directly released his powerful consciousness and quickly checked the situation of the rest of the sect. 2 girls at the peak of the 9th level of the Yuanshan realm, one of them should be the sect master of the Xinghuan sect. A physical cultivator at the 4th level of the crossing tribulation realm. A cultivator at the 3rd level of the crossing tribulation realm. What the hell is this configuration? 3 elders at the crossing tribulation realm, even the first-class sect Tianyang sect, can't compare to them. And that big monster. And this sword dog. No, I can't stay in this sect anymore. I have to leave quickly. I don't want the soul ball anymore. Boom. Just as Xiaochen was about to make up an excuse to leave, a faint but evil aura suddenly came from a distance. Swish. 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 After Xia Tianyu, Luo Kai, Luo Qianxue and Chu Xiaoxiao sensed this evil aura, they all flew out from various places in the sect. Ha 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 ha, the old man is back. Soon, with an extremely arrogant laugh, Chu Hongshan appeared in everyone's sight, holding a heaven-level furnace in his right hand, holding a bloodthirsty banner of 10,000 souls in his left hand, and followed by a huge and ferocious ghost face formed by 10,000 evil spirits. Fuck. Where did Elder Chu get such an awesome magic weapon? Hearing the exclamations of Bai Tianheng, Xia Tianyu, and Luo Kai, Xiao Chen completely collapsed. He could tolerate a physical cultivator taking a heaven-level furnace, but what the hell was that extraordinary magic weapon? Not only that, he also felt that Chu Hongshan was actually a powerful physical cultivator who had survived 5 heavenly thunder tribulations. I just want to find an inconspicuous small sect to hide in. Don't do this to me. Yi Feng. How did you come back faster than me? When Chu Hongshan saw Yi Feng looking at him with a smile, his eyes almost popped out of his head. You know, he used a secret method to rush back in just one day. Who would have thought that Yi Feng was faster than him? Yi Feng, this couldn't be another elder you brought back. Luo Qianxue also noticed Xiao Chen standing next to Yi Feng at this time, and asked directly with a look of despair. Master, this is Senior Xiao Chen, he wants to join our sect as an elder. By the way, Senior Xiao Chen is a soul cultivator at the 9th level of the Tribulation Realm who has withstood 9 heavenly thunder tribulations. He is a big shot who can ascend to the upper realm at any time. Hiss, hearing Yi Feng's words, everyone couldn't help but take a breath of cold air, and looked at Xiao Chen again with awe. They never thought that Xiao Chen was actually a big man who could ascend at any time. With such a big man in the sect, who dares to mess with him? The people in this sect are all prodigals. No matter how prodigal you are still scared after knowing my strength. This feeling is really good. How about I stay in this sect for a few days, to try it out? Enjoying the awe-inspiring eyes of everyone, Xiao Chen didn't want to leave for a while. System, give me unlimited spiritual wood jars, specify the 9,000-year-old golden soul Holy Spirit tree, when 100 trees are opened, it will end. The spiritual wood jar is also sold for 100 prodigal points, with a 90% chance of opening a 1,000-year-old spiritual wood, and an 80% chance of opening a 2,000-year-old spiritual wood. Although there is only a 10% chance of opening a 9,000-year-old spiritual wood, Yi Feng now has 920,000 prodigal points, which is definitely enough. Not to mention that you can use these golden soul Holy Spirit trees to build houses in the future, and you can also make a lot of money. Chapter 113, Savage Demolition, Too Brutal. Ding. Open 830 spirit wood jars, consume 83,000 waste points. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 100 golden soul Holy Spirit trees with a tree age of 9,000 years. In less than 2 minutes, the system's prompt sounded in Yi Feng's mind. Elder Xia, take Elder Xiao around the sect. Elder Chu, Elder Luo, you two follow me. After saying that, Yi Feng led Chu Hongshan and Luo Kai into the sect. It's over. This sect has been completely ruined by Yi Feng. Looking at Yi Feng leaving, Luo Qianxue was completely broken. She didn't plan to develop the sect, but her personal disciple was too profligate, so she saved the trouble of development and directly brought the big brothers of the independent cultivators into the sect. Thinking that Xingji sect didn't have a big brother who could ascend at any time, Luo Qianxue couldn't imagine what her father Luo Wuming would react if he knew about this. This dog is so favored by Yi Feng, and his future achievements may exceed everyone's imagination. The first sword dog on the continent, let me train it myself. Bai Tianheng, who had never accepted a disciple in his life, was now ready to guide the little yellow dog as a personal disciple. What's going on? Why is the old man looking at me in a strange way? We are just playing around, he can't be serious, I want to go back to sleep. The little yellow dog noticed Bai Tianheng's abnormality at this time, and thought of what Yi Feng said to Bai Tianheng before. At this moment, it suddenly panicked and wished it could speak human language to express its truest thoughts. Residential area for elders of the sect. Elder Luo, tear down this courtyard. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Luo Kai didn't even react for a moment. Why demolish a courtyard? Yi Feng, it's easy to demolish this courtyard, but can you tell me why? Driven by curiosity, Luo Kai still asked the doubts in his heart. This courtyard belongs to Elder Xiao. I have prepared the wood. Next, I may have to trouble the two elders to help rebuild a courtyard. Hearing Luo Kai's inquiry, Yi Feng also told the reason. System, the two elders helped the sect build a courtyard. Do I have to give some hard work fees? By the way, in addition to the unlimited supply of various spirit stones and spirit crystals, can you give other items for hard work fees, such as big goblin blood, spirit ore, spirit wood, etc.? Yi Feng was a little tired of giving hard currency such as spirit stones and spirit crystals, and he felt that this restricted his rhythm of squandering money. Ding. The system also provides an unlimited supply of various cultivation resources, but they can only be used for meeting gifts, hard work fees, etc. It really works. Hearing the system's answer, Yi Feng was overjoyed. If this was feasible, he could trigger the behavior of wasting money to a greater extent. Thank you for your hard work, two elders. After the courtyard is built, you can specify any kind of great demon's blood essence, 10 drops per person. Looking at the two people who began to dismantle the courtyard fence, Yi Feng also smiled and said the hard work fee after the completion of the work specified big goblin blood? 10 drops per person? Hearing Yi Feng's words, the two people who were slowly pulling out wooden fences from the ground one by one instantly became furious. Elder Chu, get out of the way. I'm going to speed up. With Luo Kai's loud shout, he suddenly exerted force with his legs, and the whole person rushed forward like a bulldozer, smashing all the wooden fences surrounding the courtyard, extremely barbaric. Chu Hongshan, who saw this scene, was anxious. A courtyard had only the houses in the courtyard except for the fence. If Luo Kai also took it, how could he have the nerve to ask Yi Feng for big goblin blood? Elder Luo, leave the rest to me. With that, Chu Hongshan rushed directly to the houses in the courtyard. Bang! Bang! Seeing Chu Hongshan smashing a big hole in the front of the house and rushing out from the wall behind the house, and then starting to demolish it endlessly, Yi Feng couldn't help but exclaimed, 2F** King Brutal. Elder Chu, let me do some penetration too. Thinking that he had only demolished a fence, Luo Kai was so anxious that he rushed directly to the broken and crumbling house. What is efficiency? This is F** King efficiency. Seeing the house completely collapsed, the two began to clean up the scattered debris and wood chips. Yi Feng also directly took out all the 100 golden soul holy spirit trees in the system space. In just 5 minutes, the entire courtyard was cleaned up. Yi Feng, what kind of trees are these golden spiritual trees? Do you want to build a pure wooden courtyard for Elder Xiao? When Chu Hongshan and Luo Kai came over and saw the 100 golden soul holy spirit trees piled up in front of them, they also asked, curiously. To be honest, the two have never heard of golden spiritual woods, and they dare to guarantee that this spiritual wood is definitely not a simple spiritual wood, just because it was taken out by Yi Feng. This is called the Golden Soul Holy Spirit Tree, all of which are 9,000 years old, which is very good for soul cultivation. Start working, you must use up all these Golden Soul Holy Spirit trees, and you must build the most luxurious courtyard for Elder Xiao. Yi Feng looked at the two and stated his requirements. Understood. Leave it to the two of us, we will definitely finish it before the evening. Chu Hongshan patted his chest and promised. Elder Chu, I'm afraid that a courtyard doesn't need so many golden soul holy spirit trees. When Yi Feng left, Luo Kai looked at the hundreds of golden soul holy spirit trees in front of him, which were more than 100 meters long, and he also looked embarrassed. Didn't you notice that Yi Feng emphasized the words use up all? The designated 10 drops of great goblin blood, do you think it's so easy to get? This is probably a test from Yi Feng. As long as this is done, will there be a shortage of great goblin blood in the future? At this point, Chu Hongshan looked directly at the empty courtyards on both sides. Elder Chu, I know what to do. Seeing Chu Hongshan's eyes on the empty courtyards on both sides, Luo Kai understood instantly. If it can't be used up, it proves that the built courtyard is not big enough. Elder Chu, I suddenly have another idea. You said that if the height of the house is increased and a layer is added inside, can we increase the use of some Golden Soul Holy Spirit trees? Hearing this proposal, Chu Hongshan's eyes suddenly lit up, and he laughed directly. Okay, this is good, Luo Kai, I didn't expect you to have such a good brain. Yi Feng would never have thought that because of a wasteful request he made, the first luxury villa in Shantian continent would be born in Xinghuan sect. On the other side, Xiao Chen, who still knew nothing, was wandering around the sect with Xia Tianyu. Chapter 114. Why can I go through life and death, while you can just sit there and do a big account? Xingji sect? You said the sect master is the daughter of the Xingji sect's sect master? After hearing this news, Xiao Chen felt numb all over. He felt that he was completely deceived by Yi Feng. This small sect not only has a powerful configuration, but also has a big backer from a top sect? Elder Xia, I saw you eating those black pills all the way, and your face was bitter, and you would retch from time to time. If it's so unpalatable, why do you still eat it? Since he had decided to stay for a few days to try it out, Xiao Chen would endure it even if he knew the news, but he was curious about the pills that Xia Tianyu had been eating all the way. He didn't understand why he forced himself to keep eating, since he knew it was so unpalatable. Elder Xiao, do you know about the pure spirit body? Hearing Xiao Chen's question, Xia Tianyu smiled and asked back. Pure spirit body? I have also heard that it is a kind of peculiar physique, either born or obtained by chance in the Tiandao battlefield, but no matter which one, the probability is very low. After all, I am a soul cultivator, and I don't pay too much attention to this kind of physique that only Dao cultivators pay great attention to. Xiao Chen also directly expressed his thoughts. Elder Xiao, do you want to have a pure spirit body? Xia Tianyu asked again after hearing it. Hearing Xia Tianyu's two strange questions in succession, Xiao Chen said in confusion, although this physique is very strong, it is useless to me. To be honest, I really don't want to have this physique. No. You want to? Don't even mention that you are a soul cultivator. Even Elder Chu and Elder Luo are body cultivators, and they are still working hard for a pure spirit body. The entire sect, even that demon dog, is a pure spirit body. If you are not, then you will be out of place in the sect. Don't worry, you will soon start to eat this kind of elixir that is more unpalatable than shit. Xia Tianyu also stopped at that point. As for Yifeng's squandering, he thought that Xiao Chen needed to experience it slowly over time. Stunned. Xiao Chen was stunned after hearing what Xia Tianyu said, but seeing that Xia Tianyu was not going to explain too much, he simply stopped asking. Whose courtyard is this? As cultivators, why do we need to use this hut like mortals? Hut? Just after asking, Xiao Chen suddenly thought of a piece of information that the blood-sucking mantis had told him before, that is, Yi Feng used the heaven-level furnace as a container for the pit. This can't be Yifeng's courtyard. Before Xia Tianyu answered, Xiao Chen asked again. Ha ha ha. Seeing Xiao Chen's astonishment, Xia Tianyu couldn't help laughing and said, yes, this is Yifeng's courtyard. And don't underestimate this hut. I got a little news that Yifeng plans to use a large amount of golden silkworm star stones to build a hut in the future. Once his hut is built, it will be easier for us to survive the tribulation in the future. Can you imagine the scene of successfully surviving the tribulation by squatting on a big account? I tell you, in the future, all of us elders will have to scramble to use that hut. Xia Tianyu told Xiao Chen the news he got from Bai Tianhong with an excited look. What? What the hell are you talking about? shouldn't you tell me that the difference between this hut and the toilet container of a heavenly furnace is that it has a pit container? Is Yifeng crazy for using a large amount of golden silkworm starstones to build a hut? There must be a limit to squandering money. Thinking of this, Xiaochen was almost angry and cried. He recalled the 9 thunder tribulations he had experienced from the first level of the tribulation realm to the 9th level of the tribulation realm and the 9 heavenly thunder tribulations he had experienced after the peak of the 9th level of the tribulation realm. Which one of them was not survived at the limit of life and death? Those were his most worthy capital to show off. But now, he didn't even dare to show it off. How to show off? Something that can be solved by squatting on a large account, is this also worth showing off? The more he thought about it, the angrier Xiaochen felt that he was really hit after coming to this sect. This sect is simply inhumane. Elder Xiao, this pill is for you. I exchanged this for a lot of sect points, and I haven't even eaten it yet. At this time, Xia Tianyu suddenly handed Xiaochen an enlightenment pill. Yifeng has plenty of enlightenment pills, and he can exchange them for sect points in the future, but now is a great time to build a good relationship with Xiaochen. As a businessman, Xia Tianyu is very familiar with the ways of the world. After all, Xiaochen is a big boss who can ascend at any time, so it is definitely right to build a good relationship in advance. What kind of pill is this? With doubts, Xiaochen still took the pill handed over by Xia Tianyu and put it into his mouth. He was not worried that the other party would harm him, but he was curious about what kind of pill it was. Boom! As a breath of enlightenment burst out from Xiaochen's body, Xiaochen looked at Xia Tianyu with his eyes almost popping out. Enlightenment. This pill can actually allow him to enter the state of enlightenment instantly. Not only that, he can do anything while in the state of enlightenment. Elder Xiao, don't ask anything, practice first. The effect of this enlightenment pill is only 20 minutes. Seeing Xiaochen with a look of horror, Xia Tianyu also explained with a smile. 20 minutes later. When Xiaochen's enlightenment ended and he learned from Xia Tianyu that there were still many enlightenment pills in the sect, and they could be exchanged for sect points, he was dumbfounded. Wasn't I sealed for 200 years? How come the cultivation conditions of the younger generation are now so good? Is this enlightenment pill also from Yifeng? He used this precious enlightenment pill to open up greater spiritual wisdom for the little yellow dog? He is such a spendthrift, don't you know how to control him? After learning that these enlightenment pills were actually from Yifeng, Xiaochen looked at Xia Tianyu anxiously and shouted directly. Control? Elder Xiao, you are acting a little too much. Why did we come to this sect, to be elders? It's all for Yifeng. Something that fell out of his fingernails is enough for me to go through fire and water for him. How could I care about him? Elder Xiao, I just want to ask you one question. The reason why you came to this sect to be an elder is not because Yifeng gave you something? Xia Tianyu looked at Xiaochen and asked directly. Xiaochen wanted to refute, but suddenly remembered that he did come here with Yifeng's 100 soul balls, which made his face instantly embarrassed. Elder Xiao, don't be embarrassed. In the future, we will do more for the sect, and Yifeng will not treat us unfairly. Seeing Xiaochen's extremely embarrassed look, Xia Tianyu also laughed to resolve the awkward atmosphere. Chapter 115. It's a loss, this old guy doesn't play by the rules. Let's go. Let's go to the elders' residential area, and it's just right for you to choose a courtyard to live in. Xia Tianyu smiled and continued to say to Xiaochen. After a while. Stop. Stop it, all of you. However, when the two came to the elders' residential area, they saw Chu Hongshan and Luo Kai each holding a black machete and chopping down a golden soul holy spirit tree. Xiaochen instantly exploded and shouted anxiously. Golden soul holy spirit tree. Such a tall golden soul holy spirit tree, how old must it be? Xiaochen ran over and looked at the rows of Golden Soul Holy Spirit trees that were more than 100 meters long, and then looked at the golden fence on the side and the huge house foundation in the courtyard. He felt his heart bleeding. This is a Golden Soul Holy Spirit tree. This thing is not used to build a house. Are you all fucking prodigals? What? Is this a courtyard and house built for me? When Xiaochen learned that this was a special courtyard built for him, the pain on his face disappeared instantly. Prodigal. Really a fucking prodigal. But I fucking like it. Thinking that he was sealed by the Golden Will Emperor for 200 years because of a Golden Soul Holy Tree more than 10 meters high, he felt that he must live in this courtyard built by the Golden Soul Holy Tree. With the participation of Xia Tianyu and Xiaochen, the work of building a luxurious villa courtyard was directly accelerated. 3 hours later. When Xiaochen looked at the 5-story luxurious villa covering an area of 300 square meters, he was so excited that he trembled all over. Now he wanted to catch Ding Yi and let him see his luxurious villa. The Golden Soul Holy Tree that you think is a treasure is only worthy of building a house in my house. Chu Hongshan, Xia Tianyu and Luo Kai, who were standing by, saw the luxurious villa shining with golden light under the sun, and their eyes turned purple with envy. Is this the special treatment that the ascended masters receive in this sect? Looking at the dazzling golden luxury villa in front of them, they instantly felt that the house they had been living in was not so good. As cultivators, they didn't care about houses, and it didn't matter if they didn't have them. After all, they rarely slept and spent their nights practicing. But now seeing this luxury villa, they felt that they had something to pursue besides practicing. So what if they were ordinary people? They just wanted this kind of luxurious villa now. I understand. At this moment, Luo Kai's voice suddenly attracted several people. We have been in the sect for a while now. It should be said that, compared with those diligent little guys, we are really a little slack in cultivation. My strength is similar to that of Elder Bai and Elder Xia, but Elder Chu's strength is far above ours. Why don't you have special treatment, but Elder Xiao does? This may be a hint from Yifeng to us. If you want to have some privileges in the sect, then use your strength to speak. He may be using this method to remind us to work hard in cultivation. Hearing Luo Kai's words, Chu Hongshan and Xia Tianyu's eyes lit up. They felt that Luo Kai's analysis was well-founded, and it was very likely that Yifeng's idea was the same. But Xiaochen shook his head with a wry smile. He now understood some of Yifeng's profligate behavior. He dared to guarantee that Yifeng did this purely for the purpose of squandering money. As for why he used the Golden Soul Holy Spirit tree to build a courtyard for him, it was because this thing was only a treasure for him and had no use at all for others. It is no exaggeration to say that although Xiaochen had known Yifeng for the shortest time, he was definitely the one who knew Yifeng the best now. Ding! All 100 Golden Soul Holy Spirit trees have been used, no squandering behavior has been triggered, no reward. Yifeng, who was lying on the bed waiting for the system reward, was stunned when he heard the system's prompt. No squandering behavior has been triggered? No reward? How is this possible? Thinking of this, Yifeng hurriedly asked, System, how could this not trigger squandering behavior? Incomprehension. Yifeng was extremely confused at this time. He knew very well how important the Golden Soul Holy Spirit tree was to Xiaochen. He used 100 Golden Soul Holy Spirit trees, which were 9,000 years old, to build a courtyard and a house. Wouldn't the other party feel that it was a squandering money? Ding! The spendthrift selected by the host excitedly accepted the courtyard residence built by the Golden Soul Holy Spirit tree, and even participated in the building process. The system finally determined that it was not a spendthrift behavior. Nanny? After hearing the system's explanation, Yifeng was completely stunned. Excitedly accepted it. And personally participated in the building process. At this moment, Yifeng suddenly recalled the scene in the demon-suppressing cave when Xiaochen went crazy and even took out his soul ball to spend money. This made him smile bitterly and said to himself, "Damn it, I miscalculated this time. Xiaochen, this old guy, doesn't play by the rules." Sleep. The depressed Yifeng directly clamped his legs under the quilt and fell asleep, even though it was only near dusk. Night fell. In the night, two figures came to the Xinghuan sect stealthily. "Old Luo, are you sure we too want to go in like this?" Bai Gang also looked at Luo Tianqing beside him speechlessly and asked. He really couldn't get used to the feeling of being a thief. "What time is it now?" "The people in this sect are either sleeping or practicing. It's not good for us to disturb them. Just find a place to rest first and meet them tomorrow morning." Hearing his friend Bai Gang's question, Luo Tianqing also expressed his thoughts. Enemy? When Luo Tianqing and Bai Gang entered the sect, Chu Hongshan and Xiaochen, who were practicing, opened their eyes at the same time. "I sensed the aura of Yifeng, the god of wealth. This should be the area where the sect disciples live. Let's look for the living area of the sect elders." When passing by the inner sect disciples' living area, Luo Tianqing could not help laughing after sensing Yifeng's aura. The third level of the tribulation realm. The third level of the tribulation realm. The fourth level of the tribulation realm. One of them is by Tianhen, the other is Xia Tianyu, and the physical cultivator should be Wu Ming's friend Luo Kai. After sensing the aura of the three people, Luo Tianqing determined that this was the living area of the sect elders. It turned out to be Luo Tianqing and Bai Gang, two old guys. Chu Hongshan, who felt the aura of the two at this moment, couldn't help laughing, but he didn't release his own aura. He was going to tease these two old friends who hadn't seen each other for a long time. This is. When Luo Tianqing and Bai Gang passed by Xiaochen's luxurious villa, they were all surprised and opened their mouths. Chapter 116 Ask, is this sect still short of a cook? This courtyard is too damn luxurious. After being shocked, Luo Tianqing also exclaimed. Luxurious? The focus of your attention is actually just luxury? Hearing Luo Tianqing's exclamation, Bai Gang on the side wanted to slap him directly. Do you see the ring patterns on this spiritual wood? Each ring pattern represents 1,000 years of age. This spiritual wood is called the Golden Soul Holy Spirit Tree, and it is absolutely a treasure for soul cultivators. When I was in Tiandao City, I happened to see this in a spiritual wood store. Let alone anything else, the more than 3 million top-grade spiritual crystals I earned from working for 30 years can't even afford these fences. Speaking of this, Bai Gang was really jealous. The money he earned from working as a grandson in Tiandao City for 30 years couldn't even afford a courtyard fence for the elders of the sect. Who the hell could stand this? Old Luo, tell me the truth, does the Saint sect still need a cook? You know that I am an extremely rare chef. I have honed my cooking skills for most of my life. I feel it is time to find someone to share them with. After hearing what Bai Gang said, Luo Tianqing felt his head buzzing. I begged you every year, but I never saw you share the food with me. Every time you refused me, you said, I don't deserve to enjoy the food you made. Now you not only want to take the initiative to share food, but also join the Saint sect as a cook? When he was about to mock Bai Gang, Luo Tianqing suddenly saw the broken bowl in his hand, and finally smiled bitterly. He was ready to come here to be a beggar, so what's wrong with him wanting to be a cook? Not an enemy. Not only that, one of the 9-layer peak masters who had withstood 5 heavenly thunder tribulations actually wanted to join this small sect as a cook. After hearing the conversation between the two, Xiaochen in the luxurious villa was really going crazy. The configuration of this small sect was already terrifying, why was it still being strengthened? You too, there are still many empty rooms in my villa. If you don't mind, you can stay in my villa tonight. Thinking that the two were friends, not enemies, Xiaochen also walked out of the villa. Someone. When the two saw Xiaochen coming out of the villa, their faces changed in vain. They didn't feel any breath in the villa at all, which proved that the old man in front of them, with messy hair, tattered clothes, and looking like a beggar, was much stronger than them. At this time, Xiaochen also noticed Luo Tianqing, who was wearing tattered clothes and holding a broken bowl, and thought to himself, has this person also been sealed for hundreds of years? If it wasn't similar to his situation, Xiaochen would find it difficult to understand why a strong man who had survived 5 heavenly thunder tribulations would dress like this. You came in time. You came in time this time. It seems that there are more than 5 smart people. This is really rolling up. Luo Tianqing, who also noticed Xiaochen's clothes, was even more fortunate in his heart. If they hadn't come here to find out in advance this time, the 5 old guys would still be waiting foolishly in Xingji sect, not knowing that someone here has already started to steal their jobs. Too damn lucky. Bai Gang was also shocked at this moment. He thought that the 5 great ancestors of Xingji sect were crazy enough. Who would have thought that such a super strong man with strength far above them would also start doing this business? How lucrative is this business that it can attract so many strong men? Ha ha ha. You 2 old guys are really interesting. You come to your own sect and act sneaky. At this moment, Chu Hongshan's laughter suddenly sounded, and the 3 people looked in the direction of Chu Hongshan. Let me introduce you. Elder Xiao, these 2 are my old friends. This one holding the broken bowl. When Chu Hongshan saw Luo Tianqing's outfit at this time, he was also shocked and didn't know how to introduce them for a while. Ahem. After coughing twice in embarrassment, Chu Hongshan continued, this one holding the broken bowl is Luo Tianqing, the great ancestor of Xingji sect, and the other is Bai Gang, a casual cultivator. In addition to cultivation, he likes to cook delicious food. Although he rarely cooks for us, his cooking skills are absolutely second to none. This is Elder Xiaochen, who just joined Xinghuan sect today. Elder Xiao is a soul cultivator who has survived 9 heavenly thunder tribulations and can ascend at any time. Chu Hongshan then introduced Xiaochen's situation to Luo Tianqing and Bai Gang. Ascending Master. When Luo Tianqing and Bai Gang learned about Xiaochen's strength, they were so shocked that their eyes almost popped out. They never thought that Xiaochen's strength had reached such a terrifying level. What on earth is Luo Tianqing doing? The purpose of her founding a sect was to temper her mind. How long has it been since she did it? She has already expanded the sect to a level that even the Xingji sect has to look up to? Luo Tianqing was also upset at this moment. The Xingji sect, which had been passed down for countless years, was actually not as good as a small sect that had only been established for less than 2 months. Who could withstand this blow? You must stay. Even if the King of Heaven comes, don't think of taking me out of this sect. I'll take the position of the sect's #1 chef. Seeing that even such a great man who ascended to heaven came to this sect to be an elder, Bai Gang was really anxious. If he could take good care of Yi Feng's stomach, he would have to be the boss if he had the opportunity to go to Tiandao City to work again in the future. Wait. Just when Luo Tianqing and Bai Gang were thinking about it, they suddenly realized a problem. Chu Hongshan, why the hell are you here? Hearing the 2 people's questioning in unison, Chu Hongshan smiled awkwardly and said, the sect is short of a refiner who can make pots and pans, so I came. Pots and pans? My lifelong wish is to be a top refiner who wants to make a heavenly furnace, and now you come to make pots and pans, are you kidding us? Old Chu, you don't want to pursue the supreme way of refining weapons anymore, you don't want to build a heavenly furnace by yourself, you don't want to become the best refiner on the continent? Luo Tianqing stared at Chu Hongshan and asked again. No more pursuit. After meeting Yi Feng, I realized it. What is the real way of refining weapons? Even if it's making pots and pans, they have to be the best pots and pans on the continent. I used to care too much about the top spiritual tools or furnaces. Haha, hearing Chu Hongshan's words, Luo Tianqing sneered directly. He had known him for decades. How could he not know what kind of person he was? Tell me, what benefit did Ji Feng give you? Hearing Luo Tianqing's direct question, Chu Hongshan said with embarrassment, he gave me 10,000 fragments of the way of refining. I should say that my way of refining is definitely the best in the continent. If conditions permit, I can even create a spiritual weapon with a low-level spirit. Chapter 117 I am an alchemist, and you want me to change my career to become a chef? After hearing Chu Hongshan's words, the other three were all dumbfounded. Low-level spirit? Is that something that should be in the lower world? Enlightened? You have become the #1 refiner in the continent, how could you not be enlightened? Even if you change a dog, the dog will be enlightened. Old Chu, you came early, you must take care of me more in the sect in the future. Bai Gang looked at Chu Hongshan and said with a big laugh. Take better care of you? Damn. Chu Hongshan reacted and looked at Bai Gang and exclaimed, you also want to be an elder in this sect? No. 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 Bai Gang shook his finger at Chu Hongshan and explained, I'm not here to be an elder. I plan to be a cook in the sect. Really? Hearing this, Chu Hongshan instantly became energetic. He knew how good Bai Gang's cooking skills were. In the past, he could only eat one meal every few years. Doesn't this mean that he can eat it every day in the future? If Yi Feng brings out some top-quality ingredients. Thinking of this, Chu Hongshan couldn't help but drool. What should I do? What should I do? I also want to stay. I can eat and drink well and beg. Where can I find such a good life? No. Luo Tianqing also made a decision at this moment. He must have a good talk with Luo Qianxue tomorrow morning. Chu Hongshan left. Luo Tianqing and Bai Gang also moved into Xiao Chen's luxurious villa. But Xiao Chen couldn't calm down for a long time in his room. It was already difficult to accept this sect. Now he learned about Chu Hongshan's other identity beyond his cognition, plus a new chef, he is now panicking. Others died of old age, but he felt that if he continued like this, he might not even live to the day of old age. The next morning. In the main hall of the sect, Luo Qianxue was confused when she saw the great ancestor who had called her here early in the morning. When did the great ancestor come? Why did the great ancestor come to her small sect instead of staying in Xingji sect? Luo Qianxue now had 100,000 questions in her mind. Qianxue, what do you think? I resign from the position of the great patriarch of Xingji sect and come to your Xinghuan sect to be an elder? Luo Tianqing looked at Luo Qianxue who was confused and said his thoughts directly. Hearing this, Luo Qianxue couldn't believe her ears. No. After reacting, Luo Qianxue also gave her answer very decisively. Although she didn't know why Luo Tianqing had this idea, she dared to guarantee that it was definitely related to her prodigal disciple. If this was agreed, would the other 4 great ancestors of the sect also come? Would his father also come? Would all the disciples, deacons, and elders of the entire Xingji sect come? Thinking of this, Luo Qianxue was shocked. What was the difference between that and taking over as the leader of Xingji sect? Can't we discuss it? Luo Tianqing asked unwillingly. Grand Patriarch, you are the pillar of Xingji sect. If you come, what will Xingji sect do? Then, Luo Qianxue told all the situations she just thought of. This. After hearing Luo Qianxue's concerns, Luo Tianqing didn't know how to refute for a while. He didn't know about others, but if the other 4 great ancestors knew that he stayed in Xinghuan sect, they would definitely come over. On the other side. Dong. 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 As the knock on the door sounded, Yifeng also opened his eyes in a daze. "Who are you?" After opening the door, Yifeng saw an old man in a red Taoist robe standing outside holding a porcelain plate with a lid. He asked in confusion. "Yifeng, I'm the new chef of the sect. I just made breakfast and brought it to you." Bai Gang smiled and introduced himself when he heard Yifeng's question, even though his identity as a chef had not been recognized by Luo Qianxue. "Chef? When did the sect have a chef?" With a puzzled look, Yifeng still asked the other party to bring the food into the room. "What is this dish?" The fat and lean meat pieces and the appetizing thick soup not only made Yifeng very hungry just by looking at them, but also made him want to eat a bite right away just by smelling them. "Pick up a piece and put it in your mouth. It's so soft and tender that it melts in your mouth. If this dish is like the braised pork in the previous life, then the taste is definitely dozens of times stronger than the braised pork." Thinking back to the inedible meals Leng Wufeng had made in the past, Yifeng was so excited that he almost cried. Other cultivators didn't care about these things, and they could even go without food every day, but he just liked this. "Wait." At this moment, Yifeng suddenly felt an inexplicable force emerging from his body and began to wander through his limbs. This feeling made him feel extremely comfortable. "Don't know what to call you?" After the storm, Yifeng wiped the soup from the corner of his mouth with satisfaction, and then looked at Bai Gang with embarrassment and asked. "I'm Bai Gang. You can just call me Chef Bai from now on." Seeing that Yifeng liked the dishes he cooked so much, Bai Gang was also very excited. He felt that he would definitely become the first chef of the sect. "I'd better call you Old Bai. Old Bai, your cooking skills are really amazing, and I feel that my body is full of strength after eating it. This dish is not an ordinary dish, right?" Yifeng felt that his whole body was full of strength at this time, and he looked at Bai Gang and asked, curiously. "Yes, this dish is made of the meat of the monster beast, Dolly Demon Ape and dozens of other spiritual herbs. The cooking process has strict requirements on the control of the heat, the amount of many spiritual herbs, and the time of adding. This dish can not only bring enjoyment to the taste buds, but also has some strength-enhancing effects. It is definitely the best choice for physical cultivation, but this effect is also time-limited and will not exist forever." "So awesome?" Hearing Bai Gang's explanation, Yifeng was also surprised. "Isn't this the same as adding a buff?" A few minutes later, when Yifeng learned that Bai Gang was actually a rare chef with an extremely special cooking style, he was really shocked. There are really all kinds of inheritances in the Tiandao battlefield, including this kind of culinary inheritance. No wonder so many people go to the Tiandao battlefield to make a living. Knowing that Bai Gang's culinary skills were obtained in the Tiandao battlefield, Yifeng felt that it was time for him to go to the Tiandao battlefield again. After all, he already had 2 Tiandao orders in his hand, so he could take Luo Qianxue there to spend money. Today's spendthrift product, 7 Series Dragon Roar Knife *1. 7 Series Dragon Roar Knife, a set of knives specially used for cooking. There are 7 in total, namely Thunder Dragon Knife, Fire Dragon Knife, Ice Dragon Knife, Dark Dragon Knife, Light Dragon Knife, Wood Dragon Knife, and Poison Dragon Knife. Each knife contains a dragon spirit. Different knives can be used to cut different ingredients to ensure that the essence of the cut ingredients is protected to the maximum extent. What kind of spendthrift product is this? By the way, taking a look at the spendthrift products refreshed today, Yifeng was also confused. The sect just got a kitchen repairman, and you came back with a kitchenware spendthrift product? Old Bai, do you want to take a disciple? After all, this is a waste of money, so Yifeng naturally cannot give it to Bai Gang. His mind quickly emerged with his junior brother Wufeng, who has been cooking for him. Although Leng Wufeng is an alchemist, he is only a third-grade alchemist after all. Yifeng feels that he can completely change his career. Chapter 118. One-armed madman, one man and one sword suppress the way of heaven. Take a disciple? That person is also a chef? Hearing Yifeng's words, Bai Gang also showed excitement. For decades, he has not met a fellow chef, and has always been studying the way of chefs by himself. It's not that he hadn't thought about taking in apprentices. He had taken in 3 apprentices before, but they all ran away because there were too many things to know about cooking, and cooking was little known, making people feel extremely unreliable. No. He is on the path of alchemy. He is a 3rd-grade alchemist. Hearing Bai Gang's question, Yifeng also answered with a little embarrassment. Alchemy? You let an alchemist change his career and embark on the path of cooking with me? After hearing what Yifeng said, Bai Gang was also shocked and speechless for a long time. Alchemy, then he has some basic knowledge of spiritual herbs, which can save a lot of trouble. After a while, Bai Gang thought about it carefully and felt that it seemed feasible for an alchemist to change his career. Yifeng, can I ask why you want me to take him in as a disciple? In fact, I can take care of your daily diet. Bai Gang looked up at Yifeng and asked, puzzledly. Just when Yifeng wanted to answer, he suddenly sensed the breath of the blood-sucking mantis, which made him laugh and said, just in time, they are back. A few minutes later, Lung Wufeng came to Yifeng's residence, looked at the strange red-robed old man, then looked at Yifeng and asked, Big brother, Brother Shui asked me to come to you, what's the matter? Junior brother Wufeng, you have been responsible for my 3 meals a day since you joined the sect. You have worked so hard. Let me introduce you, this is Mr. Bai, the new chef of the sect. Sect chef. Hearing Yifeng's words, Lung Wufeng was so excited that he almost cried. Relieved. He was finally relieved. He was an alchemist, how could he cook? As long as Yifeng was in the sect, the most painful thing for him was that he didn't know what to do. Now, the sect finally has a chef, and he can finally be relieved. Brother Wufeng, I feel that the alchemy is not suitable for you, you should change to the kitchen. It just so happens that Mr. Bai is a powerful kitchen cultivator, you can worship him as your master and embark on the kitchen path. Just when Lung Wufeng was very excited, Yifeng's words were like a basin of cold water, making him shiver all over. I am an alchemist, and you want me to change my career to become a chef? Crazy! Lung Wufeng was really going crazy at this moment. My sense of existence is so low. And you are still messing with me like this? As a kitchen practitioner, the most important thing is to have your own knives. Take the knife. Drop your blood to recognize the master. Looking at the collapsed Lung Wufeng, Yifeng was unmoved and directly took out all the 7 series of dragon roar knives from the system space. With these 7 knives with weapon spirits, plus Bai Gang's careful guidance, Lung Wufeng's future achievements will be limitless. Although he was spending money, Yifeng also wanted to help Lung Wufeng, whose presence was getting lower and lower. After all, he was the 2nd person to join the sect and was Wufeng's junior brother who helped him cook every day. Seeing 7 knives with different auras and a dragon pattern engraved on the blade floating in front of him, Lung Wufeng wanted to refuse, but seeing Yifeng's serious face, he finally gritted his teeth and cut his finger to recognize the master with blood. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully consuming today's wasteful product. Reward 1000 wasteful points. Reward 100 kitchen enlightenment fragments. Roar! Roar! Before Yifeng finished checking the system rewards, 7 deafening dragon roars instantly resounded throughout the sect. Thunder Dragon Soul. Dark Dragon Soul. Ice Dragon Soul. The 7 Dragon Soul weapon spirits were just like the 9 Dragon Soul weapon spirits in the 9 Dragons Burning Heaven Cauldron. They all came alive from the knives, releasing their own power to break through the roof and soar into the sky. At this time, everyone in the entire sect looked at the 700-foot-long Dragon Soul weapon spirits in the air with horror. The terrifying dragon power was far superior to the 9 dragon soul, cauldron spirits. Boom! 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 At this moment, calamity clouds appeared in the sky, and a pressure from heaven and earth instantly enveloped the entire Xinghuan sect. What did that prodigal son Yifeng do again? These 7 dragon soul weapon spirits are even more terrifying than the 9 dragon soul weapon spirits at the beginning, and they actually directly led to the heavenly calamity clouds. Feeling this pressure from heaven and earth, looking at the heavenly calamity clouds that were rapidly condensing in the air, Luo Qianxue was going crazy. If this heavenly thunder calamity fell, who could withstand it? Damn it, I told you this sect is unreliable, I shouldn't have come here. The aura of this heavenly thunder tribulation is even more terrifying than the last heavenly thunder tribulation I resisted. What on earth are those 7 dragon soul weapon spirits? Am I going to be killed after just one day in the sect? Outside the luxurious villa, Xiaochen was almost scared to death when he felt the aura of the heavenly tribulation cloud in the air. What kind of knife is this? If I had such a set of knives, it would be worth dying. Unlike others, at this moment, Bai Gang's mind was all on the 7 knives floating in front of Leng Wufeng. These were simply the knives that kitchen repairmen dreamed of. This knife actually has a weapon spirit, and it's such a terrifying weapon spirit. Big brother, you're so good to me, I will never let down the 7 knives you gave me. But what should I do with this heavenly tribulation cloud now? Leng Wufeng was moved, but also terrified at this time. After all, the heavenly tribulation cloud in the sky was too terrifying. At this time only Yifeng looked calmly at the sky's still growing calamity clouds. With this kind of range attack, the prodigal guards would naturally appear. In fact, he could use the eyes of destruction to solve the crisis at hand, but thinking that those prodigal guards were almost idle, it would be better to let them come out for some fresh air. I just don't know who will be lucky enough to be picked. Boom! As the sky's calamity clouds took shape, a series of sky's thunder calamities with a breath of destruction fell down. It's over. Everyone in the sect had only this thought at this time. Under such a terrifying sky's thunder calamity, they could not survive at all, and they didn't even have the ability to resist. Swish, just when everyone was in despair, a flash of red sword light flashed, and with it disappeared dozens of heavenly Tao thunder tribulations that had just fallen. It's him. When Chu Hongshan, Chu Xiaoxiao, and the bloodthirsty mantis saw the one-armed madman standing in the air, shaking the blood-red thin sword in his hand and pointing at the heavenly Tao tribulation cloud, the eyes of the 2 people and the demon were instantly filled with endless horror. Thunder rumbled. Lightning flashed. Faced with the provocation of the one-armed madman, the heavenly Tao tribulation cloud did not dare to drop another heavenly Tao thunder tribulation. Even the heavenly Tao dare not provoke this one-armed madman? The 2 people and the demon who saw this scene were all dumbfounded. They knew that the one-armed madman was very strong, but they never expected that he would be so strong that it was so frightening. Chapter 119 Master, I have 2 heavenly Tao orders in my hand. Who is he? The rest of the sect members looked at the one-armed swordsman who suppressed the heavenly Tao in the air, and everyone's mind was trembling. They had never thought that someone could suppress the heavenly Tao. This was simply a shock to their cognition. Manic. Bloodthirsty. Crazy. Feeling the strange sense of oppression brought by the one-armed swordsman, Luo Qianxue's eyes were also filled with endless fear. She felt that she saw the figure of the madman with the fighting saint body in the upper world in this one-armed swordsman. But the strange sense of oppression given to her by the one-armed swordsman who suppressed the heavenly Tao was 10,000 times more terrifying than that fighting madman in the upper world. How could there be such a terrifying existence in the lower world? Even if such an existence is placed in the upper world, it is definitely an existence that her Wuji Holy Land dare not provoke. Crazy. Luo Qianxue is really going crazy. She has lived a new life, but how come what she experienced in the lower world is even more terrifying than that in the upper world? will it not disperse? The one-armed madman saw that the heavenly calamity cloud in the sky did not dissipate on its own. Blood flashed in his eyes, and a burst of blood energy instantly burst out from the blood-colored thin sword in his hand. If it does not dissipate, he will cut it off directly. The thunder sound faded, and the calamity cloud dissipated. When everyone saw that the heavenly calamity cloud dissipated on its own, they were even more shocked and opened their mouths wide, their eyes full of disbelief. Until the one-armed swordsman turned into a red stream of light and disappeared in the air, everyone could not recover for a long time. After a while, in the sect hall, Luo Qianxue looked at the people standing below, and her face couldn't help twitching. Unknowingly, the sect that should have only her and Bai Lao had so many people now. This made her look at Yifeng, who looked very proud. She wondered whether she should allow him to go out in the future. He brought back several things in one trip. Who could resist this? Tell me, what's the matter with those 7 terrifying dragon soul spirits that attracted the heavenly calamity clouds just now? After saying this, Luo Qianxue's eyes fell on Yifeng again. Apart from her prodigal disciple, she didn't believe that anyone else could take out such things that did not belong to the lower world. Master, it's the dragon soul weapon spirit among the 7 kitchen knives in my hand. However, to Luo Qianxue's surprise, Leng Wufeng, whose presence in the sect was getting lower and lower, stood up. Kitchen knife? You said that the terrifying spiritual weapon that brought out the heavenly Tao tribulation cloud weapon spirit was a kitchen knife? Are you also floating? Your senior brother used the 9 dragons burning heaven cauldron as a barbecue grill, and you followed closely and used these 7 knives with terrifying weapon spirits as kitchen knives? When did her sect become so arrogant? How did you get these 7 knives? Looking at the 7 knives with different auras floating in front of Leng Wufeng, Luo Qianxue also asked directly, and her eyes swept to Yifeng from time to time. Master, this is given to me by my senior brother. My senior brother thinks that I am not suitable for the way of alchemy, so I have already worshipped Senior Bigong as my teacher and am ready to embark on the way of kitchen cultivation. Leng Wufeng said excitedly at this time. You are not suitable for the way of alchemy? Although I only know a little bit about alchemy, you are definitely a genius in alchemy. How could you not be suitable for alchemy? Wufeng, although this is your own choice, I still want to remind you that if you want to embark on the path of kitchen cultivation, you also need talent. You have to think about this carefully. Since Leng Wufeng has made a decision, Luo Qianxue will not interfere too much, but there are kitchen cultivators in the Wuji Holy Land in the upper realm, and she also knows a little about kitchen cultivation, so she still has to remind him. Master, the eldest brother said that it doesn't matter whether you have talent or not. It's important to have enough culinary perception fragments. I have already merged 100 culinary perception fragments before coming here. Now I can cook 4th grade dishes. Leng Wufeng laughed and said. What? After hearing Leng Wufeng's words, Luo Qianxue, Chu Hongshan, Luo Tianqing, and Bai Gang all exclaimed. The 3 of them knew that Bai Gang had spent his whole life trying, but now he could only cook 7th grade dishes with special effects. How could you achieve what Bai Gang had achieved in more than 10 years? Regardless of whether you have talent or not, you used culinary perception fragments to create a top-level culinary cultivator? And this person was originally an alchemist? Is this something a human can do? Bai Gang cried. He finally understood why Yifeng wanted Leng Wufeng to change his career to become a chef. It was not for anything else, but purely to ruin the family. No. From today on, I must take good care of Yifeng's stomach. Even the gods can't stop me from preparing 3 meals a day for Yifeng. At this time, Bai Gang also made up his mind. Senior Bai Gang, I heard from the great ancestor that you were going to be the chef of our sect. At that time, you probably hadn't accepted Leng Wufeng as your disciple yet. I just want to know one thing, is your decision related to my prodigal disciple? Putting aside Leng Wufeng's matter for the time being, Luo Qianxue looked at Bai Gang and asked. Hearing this, Yi Feng on the side was stunned. What the hell does this have to do with me? I was still sleeping, and they brought me breakfast. Didn't you recruit this sect chef? This? Damn. You fucking say it. Seeing Bai Gang couldn't fart for a long time, Yi Feng was going crazy. Is this the legendary person sleeping at home, and the pot came from the sky? Seeing Bai Gang still couldn't say a word, Yi Feng felt numb all over. He really didn't know the other person. If someone said that he had a little relationship with him, he would admit it, but this Bai Gang had nothing to do with him. Seeing Luo Qianxue looking at him with angry eyes, Yi Feng was really going crazy. He really wanted to shout, "This old man has nothing to do with me." Okay, everyone leave first. Yi Feng, you stay. After a while, only Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue were left in the sect hall. Yi Feng, I know you have a lot of secrets. Let's not talk about the things you took out in the past. Just talk about the 9 dragons, burning heaven cauldron, and these 7 knives. These are not things that should be in Xiantian continent. I just want to ask you 2 things. Is the one-armed swordsman who just appeared related to you? Luo Qianxue looked at Yi Feng with a serious face and asked directly. Yes. Yi Feng did not hide anything and admitted it directly. Then do you have any purpose in approaching me? Luo Qianxue did not expect Yi Feng to admit it so straightforwardly, so she continued to ask. Yes. Yi Feng still answered very straightforwardly. What purpose? Luo Qianxue looked at Yi Feng with a serious expression and continued to ask. This is the 3rd thing. I spared no effort to help you, Master, to expand the sect. Is it because you don't want me to sleep with you? Is it because you don't want me to take a bath with you? Master, what do you think my purpose is? Yi Feng looked at Luo Qianxue and asked directly with a smile. Get out. Master, I have 2 heavenly Dao orders in my hand. Let Elder Bai cook some food, and we can talk while we eat. Looking at Yi Feng, who was holding her tightly, Luo Qianxue gritted her teeth and said. Chapter 120. Entering Tiandao City, Luo Qianxue was almost furious. Master, don't you want to know who I am? When he arrived at Luo Qianxue's residence, Yi Feng asked in confusion. Before Luo Qianxue asked the one-armed madman, Yi Feng thought that the other party would ask more questions, but the other party only asked a few simple questions, which made Yi Feng extremely puzzled. Sometimes curiosity can kill people. Luo Qianxue looked at Yi Feng as if he was a fool and said directly. Yi Feng's mystery and power have far exceeded Luo Qianxue's imagination. Not to mention in this lower world, even the one-armed swordsman and even the Wuji Holy Land in the upper world dare not provoke him. This kind of existence is not something she can afford to provoke. For the existence that cannot be provoked, Luo Qianxue is very clear that you are not qualified to ask any questions. No matter what Yi Feng's purpose is in joining her sect, even if he wants to kill her, what can she do if she knows? Can you really resist curiosity? Hearing this, Yi Feng also became interested, looking at Luo Qianxue and smiling, saying, Master, do you know the Wuji Holy Land? Yes. When Luo Qianxue heard the 4 words Wuji Holy Land, her face suddenly changed. Go ahead. Why don't you continue talking? Luo Qianxue thought Yi Feng would continue to say something, but who would have thought that Yi Feng would lie down on her bed and rest, which made her feel uncomfortable instantly. How could he know about Wuji Holy Land? Did he know that I was the reincarnation of the Holy Maiden of Wuji Holy Land? But how did he know that? Crazy! Looking at Yi Feng lying on the bed like nothing happened, Luo Qianxue was confused and irritated at the moment. I can't stand it anymore. Luo Qianxue finally couldn't hold back her curiosity, and looked at Yi Feng lying on the bed and said, I know the Wuji Holy Land. Oh. Hearing Luo Qianshua's words, Yifeng opened his eyes, said "oh," and then closed his eyes to continue resting. Since the showdown has begun, I have to hold your hand tightly? Yifeng thought with a smile in his heart. Oh? You only have one oh? What else do you know? Just tell me. Luo Qianxue was really going crazy at this moment. This was the most important secret in her heart. Now that Yifeng had revealed a corner, the other party didn't move. This was simply a torture for her. 20 minutes later. When Bai Gang brought the cooked food, he looked at Yifeng lying on Luo Qianshue's bed, was stunned at first, then looked at Luo Qianxue with a smile and quickly left the room. As for this situation, Luo Qianxue was too lazy to explain it. Before, Yifeng called her wife in front of so many people, and she couldn't explain it clearly. Master, I currently have 2 heavenly Dao orders, one for each of us. When do you think we should go to Tiandao City for a visit? While eating the delicious food brought by Big Gang, Yifeng did not mention anything about the Wuji Holy Land, but went straight to the topic of the heavenly Dao orders. Yifeng, do you think this heavenly Dao order can be used in the outside world without going to the heavenly Dao battlefield? Luo Qianxue stopped thinking about the Wuji Holy Land for the time being, and looked at Yifeng and told him her guess. Can it be played this way? I don't know, how about giving it a try? After the two cut their fingers and dripped blood on the heavenly Dao order, 2 black lights burst out from the heavenly Dao order and directly enveloped the two. As the black light gradually disappeared, the figures of the two also disappeared directly in the room. It really works. But where did the master teleport to? After finding that he had appeared in the heavenly Dao city, Yifeng also hurriedly looked for Luo Qianxue. Brother, do you want to take a ride? 5 heavenly Dao points. It's you again. Before he could finish, the taxi driver found that Yifeng was the newcomer who didn't even know the heavenly Dao points before. Brother, this time I know what the heavenly Dao points are. With that, Yifeng got in the car directly and took out the heavenly Dao card he had applied for before. 1 0. 2 zeros. 3 zeros. When the driver saw the bunch of zeros displayed on Yifeng's Tiandao card, he was completely dumbfounded. 100 million Tiandao points. A full 100 million Tiandao points, is this the wealth a person should have? Driver, drive as you like, charge as you like, I want to find someone. Yifeng didn't notice the driver's reaction at this time. The main reason was that he didn't know that the heavenly Dao order could be used in the outside world, and it was not a place to be teleported in, otherwise he would have given the heavenly Dao card to Luo Qianxue. Looking for someone? Young master, a heavenly Dao order can only stay in Tiandao City for half a day. Even if I step on the accelerator and smoke, I can't drive out of the 3rd district of East City in half a day. It's really unrealistic to want to find someone. The driver heard that Yifeng actually wanted to find someone in Tiandao City, and he hurriedly persuaded him. So big? Yifeng was also surprised after hearing this. He really didn't expect that Tiandao City would be so big. System, does the function of peeping into the secrets of heaven work in Tiandao City? But soon, Yifeng thought of the system's function of peeping into the secrets of heaven. Ding. It can be used normally. Use the opportunity of peeping into the secrets of heaven once to check where Luo Qianxue is currently. Hearing the system's answer, Yifeng also gave a direct order. Ding. Consume the function of spying on the heavens once. The current distance from Luo Qianxue to the host is 4 hours if you take a taxi. As the system prompt sounded, a navigation-like map appeared in front of Yifeng. Driver, follow the route I gave you. 4 hours, even if you find Luo Qianxue, you may not be able to stay for long. Yifeng feels that he has to hurry up. On the other side, looking at the modern buildings around, Luo Qianxue was also shocked. Although she had heard Yifeng say it, seeing it with her own eyes was another kind of visual impact. Isn't this the Golden Soul Holy Spirit tree that Yifeng used to build the courtyard for Elder Shaochen? A branch of the Golden Soul Holy Spirit tree, which is 9,000 years old, costs 50,000 heavenly Tao points, which is 50,000 top-grade spiritual crystals. Walking into a spiritual wood store, when Luo Qianxue saw the price, she couldn't help shaking with anger. Thinking of Shaochen's luxurious villa, how much money would it cost? Is that a villa? That's a money nest. Spendthrift, so spendthrift. Luo Qianxue was almost furious at this time. Spiritual Mind Store. A piece of golden silkworm star shine stone is actually sold for 100,000 heavenly Tao points, but Yifeng, that bastard, is thinking of using countless golden silkworm star shine stones to build a hut. Special Store. Sword Heart Advancement Fragment, one is worth 5 million heavenly Tao points, and that bastard actually used it for Guzi. Alchemy Store. A heavenly grade furnace cauldron, priced at 20 million heavenly Tao points. No wonder there are so few heavenly grade furnace cauldrons in Shantian continent. I don't know if those heavenly grade furnace cauldrons were bought from here, but that bastard actually used it as a toilet container. After visiting one store after another, Luo Qianxue was shocked to find that many of the things that Yifeng had taken out during this period were actually all available in Tiandao City.